I'm Jon Sicotte, Executive Editor of the Brewer Magazine. Welcome to another episode of the Brewer Magazine Podcast. We are sponsored by Keg Logistics, and you can find out more at keglogistics.com/brewermag. Well, if you didn't know, every Wednesday at brewermag.com, we also have Cider Business, and we run cider content for cideries all across America. And we've been doing this for years, and we love being able to share that coverage with other cideries across the country. And I thought we need to get this into the Brewer Mag podcast as well. So in this episode, we head over, well, on Zoom anyway, head over to Washington's Olympic Peninsula to hear from Amanda Oborne, who's the CEO of Finnriver Farm Cidery. It's one of the Pacific Northwest's most values-driven producers, along with being the region's first B Corp certified cidery. And we're going to dive into the business side of why Finnriver, which is known for making some pretty high-end products that are kind of that pop the cork worthy, and they're moving into cans. And so I asked Amanda how they're balancing consumer convenience with deep sustainability commitments and what it means to stay premium in a crowded and sometimes sugar-heavy canned cider market. So with the launch of two products, which I got a chance to try, Blush and Bloom in 16-ounce cans, we talk about the branding, the production, logistics, the environmental considerations that all shaped out this rollout. So whether you're a cidery owner yourself, someone considering cans, or maybe a brewery that's even eyeing what to do next in the fruit-forward innovation market, this episode is really full of a lot of great takeaways. Check it out. This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency. And we are joined by Amanda Oborne, the CEO of Finnriver Farm Cidery. And we thank you so much for joining us on the Brewer Mag and Cider Biz podcast.
Thanks for the invitation. It's great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about Finnriver. I see you guys are located in the greater Seattle area. Tell us a little bit about the farm, the cidery, and kind of where you guys got to where you are right now.
Awesome. Yeah, we're actually way out on the very tip of the West Coast. So out on a peninsula that sticks out from the state of Washington, about as far west as you can go in the US. So we're out here in this beautiful, beautiful place in the rain shadow of the Olympic Forest and the Olympic National Park. 50-acre farm, an organic orchard and cidery. We have about 15 different partners who farm and cultivate different crops on this land. We obviously grow a lot of apples, among other things, botanicals that go into our cider. We've been around about 15 years. We were started in 2010. And yeah, it's a beautiful place. There's a big tasting room here at the farm. We do live music 3 nights a week, year round. Our production facility is here. Everything happens right here on the farm. We're very much a community hub for this region and a great sort of weekend warrior trip destination from folks in the Seattle area or even from Portland.
Sure.
But it's a fun place to visit. So we'd love to have folks come out and see us.
Cool. Tell us a little bit. What got you into wanting to have a cidery at the farm?
Yeah, well, it was kind of an accident. We started out as blueberry farmers, actually. The founders of Finnriver, Keith and Christy Kistler and Eric Jorgensen, had been farming blueberries on a little farm actually a couple miles down the road. And blueberries, as it turned out, were not going to be a robust enough product to pay for the land and keep the farm operation going. And so along with a neighbor, they had started kind of messing around with some apples that were already growing in the area and came up with this cider and loved it. And eventually realized that cider is a product, a value-added agricultural product that does a whole bunch of things at once. It's got a better margin than blueberries. It's a little more engaging and fun and exciting for people in the region to come. It's very much an agricultural product, something that people put in their bodies. It's an invitation to join us on the land and be connected to this place and really drink and eat the place. So all of our work in cider actually stemmed from this deep commitment to restoring land and being connecting people to the land and the places where they're from. So we're very much a place-based cidery. We do have distribution around the Pacific Northwest, but we are a B Corp, we're organic, we're Salmon Safe certified, we're just very connected to this place and this land. And everything we put in our bottles and in our cans comes from that commitment.
You said the word cans. That's a brand new thing for you guys. And that's what we're talking about is being able to put, I got two of them here. I got two hands. We'll get them both.
Nice.
So let's talk about, the fact that you guys did make a decision to go into canning recently. What led you to wanting to do it?
Yeah, this is our flagship. Blackcurrant is something we're known for, and this bottle is what we've been committed to since day one. We think cider tastes particularly delicious when it's poured straight out of the glass like this. So our cider makers have been dedicated to that quality since the very beginning. But, people want to be able to go hiking and camping and kayaking and anything else that they want to do, picnics and music festivals and things. And those bottles are a little heavy. So after years and years of people asking us when we were going to make the product convenient and portable in cans, we relented because we felt like there were these two flavors that we could do really well in cans. So Blush is very like blackcurrant. It is also made with black currants, but whereas this is a really deep, intense blackcurrant, Blush is just more of a kiss of blackcurrant. Drinks more like a rosé. So it's perfect for summer outings. Bloom harkens back to the blueberry farm that was our origins. So this one is a semi-sweet that has blueberries in it, all organic blueberries. So yeah, it felt like something we could finally do in cans that would be delicious and answer that consumer demand for a premium cider that's portable.
Awesome. Well, I am going to crack into Blush to start. And we can, I just want to have something to drink. It's the afternoon here for me, and then get a chance to, do some pour on camera here.
Well, here,
nice.
I'll toast with you.
All right. So I guess the number one thing is when you talk about canning, do you go all in right away? Did you guys buy the canning equipment? Do you find someone to contract with? I mean, what was the financial decisions for you guys to do that?
Yeah, it's a great question. It took a lot of consideration, evaluation. It's a huge decision. So we are stepping into it. Okay, first I want to hear what you think.
Delicious. Yes.
Nice.
No, and it's definitely rosé quality right there because it's got that lighter touch to it. I love some dry sparkling cider because you get those overly sweet bombs. Oh, it's got a time and a place, but man, if you just want something to sip on, this is a good
Perfect. Start. Nice. Yep. And great on a hot day. So we decided to step into this, carefully, incrementally. Obviously we're living in tumultuous times and business is not easy for cideries anywhere. So our first step was to use a mobile canner. They've been great partners for us. They came out, they brought all the equipment and all the cans and everything. We ordered our labels. We'll talk more about the labels in a second. I think they're super beautiful. I'm very excited about them. They very much feel like Finnriver, but we got all of that equipment sent to the farm. They came out for 2 days. We canned Blush one day and Bloom the next day. And we're just getting them out into the market now and very excited to see what the reception is. And if that all goes well, then we'll keep canning every month for the next few months while we evaluate whether we invest in a full canning line in operation here at the farm or whether we work with a partner to do production closer to the metro areas in Seattle and closer to distribution hubs. So that's something we're working on right now.
And cheers, by the way, even though it's virtually. Cheers.
Yeah.
Now, do you have concerns on how your brand is going to translate? If you got, because you guys, when you think of canned cider, sometimes you think of the mass-produced stuff first and foremost, maybe the cider pop varieties, but it's not that. How do you guys talk about that? When it comes to putting these out on the shelf or having them available at the farm?
Yeah, it's a great question, and one that we really struggled with for a while. I mentioned the labels, and I would say that's a big part of the story here. We have an incredible graphic designer, creative director, who's part of our team, and then the woman that's done all of our labels, including this original one from Black Currant. We have been fortunate. Part of our commitment to this community is not just the cider and the agricultural products, but also art and music on the land. So we're fortunate to have these deep relationships with artists in our region, and Sarah Peller in particular, our graphic designer, has been designing Finnriver's labels for years and years. Worked closely with our marketing director, Laura, and came up with a label that really feels like Finnriver, and that I think will stand out and reflect Finnriver's quality and premium nature, and have B Corp certification here on the front, and be recognizable that our mission is that from the shelf, and then a little bit of the story of the farm fits on the back. With some of that romance language. So I think the label does a lot of the work to communicate who Finnriver is and why it's unique. And I think that comes through in the can. We spent a lot of time really trying to figure out how we make sure that message and that brand equity that we've spent 15 years building doesn't get degraded by virtue of being in a can. We're also hugely committed, as I've been talking about the whole time, with sustainability. So the question of cans and recyclability and label paper and adhesives, and we really sweated all of those questions, and came up with something that we felt like reflected our values.
How many variations did you have to go through to get to that point, though? Where was there a lot of, because I'm sure you're dealing with suppliers that, they probably do it in some ways, but you want it done your way. How are those conversations?
Yeah. Well, we only had a handful of options to consider for a mobile canning partner in this part of the world. We're really excited about the folks we work with, and they've been great partners to us, so we feel good about that. The label design, that's a very iterative process. Folks have a lot of passions about how Finnriver shows up in the world, but actually our marketing director and our creative director really nailed it. I nailed the initial concept, I think, right out the bat, with the focus on the botanicals, because that's really the core feature of these ciders is the black currant and the blueberries. So then it was just a matter of refinement and making sure that we adhered to all of the regulatory compliance issues and all that kind of thing, and also we have a huge recycling program, bottle and box return program. We take the pack text back that snap on to the 4 packs of cans. So all of those considerations were very much thought through and figured out a way that worked best for our community.
How do you feel this will change maybe consumer perception, or maybe a demographic shift in who's buying your product or where you can put your product? Have you started? Obviously, it's still pretty early for you guys in this, but do you see that as this is a chance to get in either other off-premise places?
Yeah, I think the cans are really just hitting the market this week, which is exciting. We have been a darling of some very committed bars and brew pubs and restaurants all around the state of Washington, and particularly around Seattle. We're also in 22 farmers markets in the Seattle region. So we have been very committed in sort of slow organic growth out of our community in the places that align with our values. And this is a real opportunity to broaden that message for us. I think cans could go further. They could be adopted in more places. We're already seeing a lot of pickup from retailers in Washington and in Oregon. So it's exciting. This could be a moment where Finnriver breaks out of its mold a little bit, and gets to connect with a lot of new people. So that's a pretty exciting inflection point for us as a company.
Let's talk about Bloom and Blush, though, as being kind of the representatives of the brand. Was that a lot of thought process, and how much do they represent what the rest of the portfolio can give to you guys? This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency.
Yeah, that's a great question. They are. We didn't want to go out with our flagship blackcurrant right off the bat, even though I think a lot of our customers really wish that we would, and maybe we will get there eventually. But we wanted to start with something that is perfect for summer. We knew we would be launching this spring, so we wanted to have something that works really well for summer outings and summer flavors. And so both of these, I think, work really, really well. In the heat and in the midst of activity. They're light and fresh and crisp and refreshing. So I think from that perspective, they suit the season really, really well. They suit the botanicals that are in them, suit our place really well. And there's something new and exciting for even our current customers. We've had blush in some form in the past, and folks have been very responsive to it. We have it also in a 750 ml bottle, which I think makes a beautiful brunch or Easter, Mother's Day kind of table, because the clear bottle, you can see that beautiful color. So I think they're great flavors to start with, and they were very doable for us as a first effort to put in cans. And then depending on how the market receives these, I could imagine that some of our other flagship brands could go into cans. It's an interesting, since this is, these are, other cideries and breweries that are part of the audience here. It's an interesting evolution that's happening in retail, where we were in these very tall bottles and on a shelf. Retailers want to capture that couple of inches, where if everybody's in cans, but we have a bottle that sticks up too high, retailers definitely had given us the heads up that over time they're going to recapture that airspace, and those bottles are going to end up way up high in a corner somewhere that is much harder to see, assuming they are able to keep taking them at all. So there was a little bit of like, we want to pick a flavor that suits the season and suits the place, and we want to be responsive to what our customers want, and we also really want to be responsive to what our retailers and our trade partners want. So all of those things went into that decision.
Sure. And even the fact that it's a 16-ounce 4-pack instead of the 12-ounce 6-pack. I mean, there's discussions there, I'm sure. Were you pretty dead set on those 16-ounce 4-packs?
Yeah, we even considered the 19.2s.
Okay.
So we came at this very much with an open mind to try and figure out what would be for our brand, for this flavor profile, for our price point, what's going to work the best for folks, and landed on the 16. In discussions with our distributor partners and our customers about what they felt like would work best from us. So 16-ounce cans in 4-packs, 24 can cases. That's where we landed, and we'll find out soon enough whether that was the right decision.
How about when it comes to, when you talked about Laura, with the marketing aspects of this, and how she's having to, work with these to be able to not just differentiate it because it's a can, but also show people this is still Finnriver, and this is still going to be,
Right.
It's not a brand extension in the terms of you guys are putting a completely different product out. It's still what you can find in the bottles, just in a different format of a package.
Yep. Well, and we have always spent most of our marketing and storytelling sort of bandwidth focused on stories of the farm and inviting people here to the farm. This is where the magic happens. This is the place we love, and this is where our mission really comes to life. So part of now being in cans is also figuring out how to tell that story to people who don't have their feet on the ground and in the soil, hands in the soil here at the farm. So that is as much the storytelling challenge as just thinking about this format differently. What does it mean to be connected to Finnriver's mission if you are standing in a cider bottle shop or something in the Bay Area, or down in Portland, or even over in Seattle, where you might have more of a sense of where the Olympic Peninsula is and what that place means? but it's not your backyard, and it's not a place that you're going to go and feel a connection to this trough table that I'm sitting on at this former dairy, where all the community celebrations of this region happen right here.
How about just with was there any changes in production or being able to have to adjust anything when it came to canning days? I mean, you have to line up a date, you have to have the people ready, you have to have, there's so many things that, is it different than bottling days when it came to canning days?
Yeah, it's definitely a new process for our team. The beauty of it is that we have these canning partners who come in with a mobile unit. So, but it definitely threw a little bit of a wrench in our normal production schedule, because our distributor ordered a huge order of our regular bottles the day after canning. And our team had just spent 3 days busting ass on getting these cans done, and then had to go right back into a very full few days to fulfill this bottle order. So we are in the process of thinking through how to manage that timing. I mean, it's a great problem to have. I'm definitely not complaining. Our guys were a little bit when they were the Walking Dead that week. But like I say, it's a great problem to have, and everybody's thrilled for the demand. So there are worse things for sure, but yes, we're definitely figuring out how to retool to accommodate the mobile canning on a regular basis. And then, like I say, really thinking about what scale looks like for us, given all of our commitments to sustainability and to place and to local sourcing and all of those things. What does that look like as we scale up, if the market is excited about this change, which so far early votes seem like they are. So that's exciting.
Well, let's touch on the sustainability aspects. How does this shift to cans in an aspect begin, like with changing how you guys view yourselves and how people can view you as a sustainable company that cares about being able to use a product that is infinitely recyclable, and how important was that in this decision to do this?
Yeah, it's a huge decision. I mean, we have the bottles that I was showing. We've had a bottle and box return program for years now, where we take those bottles back at the farm, we wash them, and we reuse them, which is a huge commitment. I mean, we definitely at Finnriver pride ourselves on doing things that are the hardest and most complicated and most expensive, so that we really stand up to our values and the commitments we make publicly. So, yeah, we have worked really hard to make those bottles and our whole sort of environmental impact in totality make sense and be the lightest touch possible on the land that we can be. But the cans are a game changer. We are in the process of, like I say, exploring the possibilities where we might co-pack or manufacture in a really highly sustainable facility that has, digital screen printing, and everything is really seamless. The companies that we're looking at have made similar commitments to sustainability. And then if we decide to go that direction, which again, it's there's a lot to be figured out yet, but that would allow us to really focus our production barn here behind me, really to focus on innovation and new product development and the specialty things that we're really known for. We have been an innovator since 2010 in terms of using different kinds of botanicals to develop new flavors. And I think the current generation of cider drinkers is really looking for that innovation and that diversity of flavor. So, I want us to have the space, both physically and workflow wise, to explore those possibilities and keep dreaming up new flavors that can leverage what we're good at here in terms of what we can grow and what speaks to unique and creative flavors.
Awesome. And I'm digging into Bloom as well right now. I figure
Nice.
I got to get both of them on camera, right? So
Yeah,
I've been able to
yeah.
try that, and yeah, definitely. I love the light touch that the blueberries bring to it. Still absolutely a cider. It's not a blueberry juice
Right.
cider. It's a blueberry cider. So
Right. Yeah.
it's some
All of
great
our
stuff.
ciders lean heavily toward the dry side, but Bloom is a semi-dry, so just a touch sweeter than the blush. But yeah, still light and refreshing without being sickly sweet at all.
I guess we kind of went into the canning and the bottling. Tell us just a little bit about some of the other products that you guys have that you're really happy to be shining on, being pushing, going forward here into the summer of 25? What's new and exciting for Finnriver?
Yeah, well, the canned flavors are definitely the biggest excitement we've got going right now.
Yeah.
But we also, our core contemporary lineup is blackcurrant, pear, habanero, which is a flavor that we innovated a few years back. That's a really fun one, and dry hop. So that's our core set of botanical flavors, core flavors. But every season we do something special that is reflective of the season. So right now we have Honey Meadow, which just came out in March, that we actually go around and pick chamomile, lemon balm, and early season stuff that grows on the farm that goes into this very fresh, very springtime flavor, Honey Meadow. And then in June, we'll launch lavender blackcurrant. So it's our original blackcurrant, but steeped with lavender. So that one is a even deeper, more intense flavor. And then in the fall, we do forest ginger, where we harvest fir tips from here in the region and steep that with ginger in the cider. It's got a really nice zing to it. It feels very fall. And then over the winter, we do cranberry rosehip, which has that gorgeous, deep red, very holiday feeling flavor. So the seasonals are super special to us and always have been. And then we have, we've got 16 taps here. We've got a different thing going all the time. Red currant root that tastes like kind of a creamsicle. We do an artisan that is a classic Méthode Champenoise variety that's sparkling and delicious. There's a really wide variety.
Well, you want to wrap this thing up with some fun, quick hit questions? Just
Sure.
A little bit about you, what you want to know, and what people want to know about you.
All right.
Let's do it. All right, we'll start with this one. The crust, the sauce, the cheese, or the toppings. What makes a good pizza?
The crust.
The crust?
Yeah, absolutely.
Crispy, thick? I mean, what do you want?
Well, here at Finnriver, we've partnered for 15 years with Dented Buoy Pizza. So we have this cracker crust, I don't know, this feels like these are fighting words with somebody from Ohio. I don't know, but cracker crust, wood-fired pizza that has essentially co-evolved here with Finnriver on the farm. So we have pizza every weekend. It's delicious, and the toppings all come from local farmers. So it's great stuff.
Very cool. Yeah. I like Detroit style pizza because it's in our backyard and it's thick, and I'm definitely not the Chicago deep dish person. And I came up, I don't know where I came up with this question. I just saw it one day and I was like, I got to do this. I think it really does come down to the sauce though, for me. Like if it's too sweet, if it's too runny, like those are the two things that just kind of turned me off. So that was one.
It definitely feels like one of those foods where all the pieces really need to come together.
Right. Absolutely.
If one of those things were terrible, it wouldn't be good.
Well, we went to New York last year, and my wife is now on can I find a pizza in our area that is as good as, and it's in Soho, and I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's like a super famous pizza joint, been around since the 20s, and the last 20s, not this 20s.
Right. They say it's all about the water.
Yep, and that's what I heard about the water, and that's part of the crust. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. How do you take your coffee? Is it hot and piping black? Are you a cold brew person? Got to have it a little closer to room temperature so you're not burning your mouth. Like, what is your go-to coffee?
Black and hot.
Black and hot. I actually just did this yesterday for the first time because I'm kind of a baby with hot liquid or hot food in general. As soon as I poured my cup of coffee, I took out my thermometer and checked it. It was like 152 degrees. And
I think that's too hot.
That was too hot. Yeah. I got it. My go-to is 120 to 125-ish, and I'm okay with 110, but like my wife is like, I can't even imagine you drinking that right now. It's so cold. And I'm just like 110 to 125. That's my drinking temperature. And
First of all, I love that you actually know the specific temperature. I would have not thought about that. I have never.
You're going to do it tomorrow now, aren't you?
I know. I was going to say I've never taken the temperature. I've taken the temperature of the water when I'm doing pour over coffee, but I have not temp checked the finished product. But I had a Japanese roommate in college who called that sensitivity to hot drinks. She told me I had a cat's tongue. cat's tongue. She said cat because cats don't like hot things apparently.
Oh,
So now you know you have a cat's tongue.
I have a cat. I have a very big cat's tongue because I got it. It's like I'll make dinner and then I walk away for 20 minutes and just let it sit there and then come back and eat. And everyone else is already done eating.
Yeah, I like it piping hot.
Cool. Well, let's get back to the cider world then. If you could collaborate with any cidery in the world, who would it be and what would you guys make?
Wow, that's such a great question. Well, I have spent a lot of years in Portland, Oregon, so I'm a huge fan of Bauman's. I aspire to the kind of craft that Bauman's does. I think it's very similar. I think we're aligned from a quality premium commitment kind of perspective. So I think it would be really fun to partner with Bauman's and do something, Pacific Northwest.
That would be awesome. What would you guys make? What would it be? A straight up sparkling? Would it be something? What kind of flavors would you want to put into it? Or you just want to show craftsmanship?
Well, craftsmanship for sure. I'm trying to think of what is something that we could, some product, some local botanical or product that we could get in Oregon or in Portland that would be different from what we get up here on the Olympic Peninsula. I think about that. Yeah. Okay, Christine, I'll call you. We'll figure something out.
There you go. We're getting something started here. So
I love it.
Awesome. Well, Amanda, best of luck, this summer with the cans. Hopefully things are going well enough that, we'll continue to see it and it'll help boost what Finnriver is already and help boost cider and hopefully this podcast gives some cideries an opportunity to think, you know what, we can do that as well.
I appreciate that. And we're definitely, our DMs are wide open. If folks are interested in collaborations or want to learn more, we're on Instagram at Finnriver, we're finnriver.com. We're very easy to find. So yeah, would love to connect with folks.
Amanda, thanks so much.
Thank you.
This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency.